Hey everyone, so this is question number 4 from your homework number 6, right? First of all, I want to bring your attention to a couple of tools here. So you are in section 6.3, so you are doing homework 6, which is related to chapter 6. So why I'm saying this, because you have a formula sheet here, so if you open it, you should go to chapter 6 here, and you should find out the formula related to this question. All right, so we are going to be doing the center limit theorem. All right, so that's one thing. The other thing is the table that you're going to be using is right here. So most likely we're going to be using the Z table. So this is actually not the first view. You're going to have this is your first view, right? So then how are you going to figure out where is the Z table or the standard normal distribution table, which is right here, and that is related to E, table E, right? So you're going to open this menu here, you're going to go to E, and here you go, you get the table right there. Okay, so the table is very similar to the one that we used in class. You have two parts of the table. The chart here are given in the bottom, right, not on the top. So this is a small tail, this is the corresponding table on top of it, and the second part is over here, and continue, and the bottom one is the big tail, all right, and this is the second part of the table. Okay, so we're gonna keep it for later. Now let's start our problem. Okay, all right, so we are giving so far here, so medical hospital insurance, and we are giving the average, all right, and the average is 4,064. So I can go ahead and write over here the mean is going to be 4,064. All right, now we keep reading, and we suppose that the benefits are normally distributed. That means the original distribution is normal. We're going to use it later on, this one, for the choice of the Z value or T value, right? And we are given as well the standard deviation, which is 460, right? So sigma is going to be 460. All right, so now we're gonna try to figure out the first question here. We're gonna try to figure out the probability that the mean benefits, right, of random sample, all right, they use the word sample here, of 28 patients is less than 3,940, which is interpreted this way, all right? So now whenever they use the mean benefits here, they need to ask for the benefits, all right? So this is the X bar, what they are asking for. Another indication of the X bar, that the sample here, they give you the N equals to 28, all right? So here, although 28 is less, 28 is less than 30, all right? So supposedly you can use the Z table only whenever you are greater than 30, with an exception if the original distribution is normally distributed, all right? So if it is, the normal distribution is normally distributed, so normal distribution in the beginning is not any other distribution, and the sample size is less than 30, so then you can use the Z values table to do this. All right, so I'm going to try to do this the simplest way, the fastest way as well. So what I'm going to do here is basically I'm going to use the table of center limit theorem, which is, this is the formula I'm going to use, all right? So I want to transfer my Z values, which is the X value, sorry, the X value. I want to transfer the X bars into the Z bars, the Z values, right? So what I want to do, I want to standardize it using this formula, okay? So how can I do this one? First of all, I'm going to start with the same formula, which is probability of X bar and less than 3,940. So then what I'm going to do to this inequality, all right, so I left space there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take x bar minus the mean, and then divide it by the sigma divided by radical n. All right, so this is my formula here. So I'm going to do exactly the same thing from the other side. However, I'm going to plug in the values, right? So the mean is 4064. So this part here corresponds to this one, the mean is this one. And then I'm going to divide it by, I'm supposed to divide by sigma, or sigma, I have it here, is 460. And then I divide the sigma by radical n, which is radical 28. Okay, so I'm going to use parentheses. Now, what's going to happen here? This part of the equation is exactly the formula. All right, so instead of writing all this, I'm going to write z instead. All right, so here you're going to be probability of z less, and this I'm going to use the calculator to do it. All right, so for the calculator I'm going to be using the parentheses. So parentheses is going to be 3940 minus 4064, close the parentheses, divide it, open the parentheses, and then it can be 460, and that is divided by square root. Square root is second here, and x squared, that's square root, and 28. All right, so I can go out from here with the arrow, close the parentheses, and enter. So if I round it to 2 decimal places, it's going to be minus 1.43. All right, so this is going to be minus 1.43. Okay, all right, so here the z values has to be 2 decimal places, right? Rounded to 2 decimal places. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and use my z table. So before that, let me draw it to see whether it's a big tail or small tail. So the z axis is going to be here. This is a standard normal distribution. The 0 will be here. Minus 1.43 going to be somewhere here. Minus 1.43. All right. So if I am looking for z smaller will be from the left side, and this is going to be a small tail. Okay. So then I'm going to use my z table. All right. So yeah, I'm going to look for minus 1.43 negative, and it is a small tail, as you see it here, small tail. So minus 1.4 is going to be this line over here, and 3 is going to be this column over here. So this is going to be this number, which is 0.764. all right, 0.764. so the probability here will be equals to 0.0764. So for the second part, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. So let me try to do it really quick. This is the probability of x bar greater than 4190. So again, I'm going to do minus the mean here, divide by sigma, divide by radical n. So this is going to be minus 4064 divided by 460 divided by radical 28. All right, put a parenthesis in both of them, and this is going to be exactly the probability of z. So this became z, and this you gotta do it with the calculator. All right, so let's do it again. Here you can be open parentheses 4190 minus 4064, close the parentheses, divide by, open parentheses, 460, and that is divided by square root second x squared, that's square root, and 28 in there. You're gonna exit the square root with the arrow here, you are out, and then close the parentheses and then enter. So it can be 1.449. 1.449. So we need two decimals here. So 449, we need to round it only to two decimals because the table has only two decimals. So 1.45. All right. And if I graph this, this is my normal distribution here. The 0 here, 1.45 here, 1.45. And if it is z greater, so I'm going in this direction, to the right side. Still is a small tail that I'm looking for. So I'm going to look for 145 in the small tail. And if I go to my table here, so I am going to the small tail table, although this is on the left side, I am looking on the right side, but by symmetry I can look for minus 1.45, 1.45, the 5 is right here, this column, 145, and that should be 0.735, so this is going to be 0.0735. All right, so let's double check. So this one 0.0764, and this you can be 0.0735. Check. Okay, that's correct. Great.